Good morning, friends. Welcome to the point. In this video, we will discuss another type of inflation by the name of structural inflation. In the previous videos, we have discussed as to what inflation is and what are the different types of inflation, the concepts related to inflation like disinflation, deflation, reflation. So in order to get more clarity over it, you can please refer to that video. In today's video, we will discuss about what structural inflation is. So the inflation caused due to the structural weakness in the economy. Now what could be the structural weakness like? It could be the lack of infrastructure, supply chain constraint, etc. So structural weakness means weaknesses in the structure of the economy, and it could be related to anything. For example, if the whole of the country or most of the units in the country is using poor or obsolete technology, so this is again a part of structural weakness, that there is no upgradation of the technology in the economy. Or it could be related to the obsolete ways of doing farming, not using the advanced techniques, not using the remote sensing techniques to know the land pattern or the soil which is suitable for growing the crops. So all of this is part of structural weakness that the economy faces, and that causes the inflation. So anything or any structural weakness causing inflation in the economy is called as structural weakness. It is an inflation caused by the backwardness in the agriculture production that does not cope up with the increased production. It is caused by the use of poor and obsolete technology, underproductivity, infrastructural bottlenecks. Thus inflation here is an outcome of structure of economy and does not change easily with the use of monetary policy. So in case of structural inflation, monetary policy is of no use. Why? Because the inflation is due to the structural bottlenecks and not due to the liquidity crunch or excessive liquidity in the market. It is due to the structural weakness that the economy faces. Moving on to the next slide, which talks about the reasons. We have already discussed, but we will just quickly revise it. India suffers from supply side constraint on account of connectivity, storage facility and scientific farming. So there are no proper cold storages in the country. There is problem of connectivity. The remote areas are still not connected and the roads are not developed. There is no pakka roads. There is no scientific methods of farming that is being used. So all of this causes supply side constraint, raising the cost of products. Indian agriculture is still monsoon dependent. This is one of the very major reason that India is still a developing nation, that the agriculture is still monsoon dependent. Due to which productivity varies from year to year, because every year monsoon varies, so is the productivity. Next is, in India not much money is spent on research and development. So if you see the budget that the India spends on research and development is far too less as compared to the developed nations, and due to which the technology becomes obsolete. Because of lack of research and development, we are not the masters of new technology, which increases the cost of production in the long run. The last is the tax structure of the country is such that it incentivizes small business. So in last 7-8 years, our government is really focusing on developing the medium and small scale enterprises in order to encourage entrepreneurship, because whenever a new business starts, it generates employment for the people living nearby it. So in order to incentivize such enterprises, the government is providing tax rebates or the low cost credit or say low cost loans to such business houses. So once they are settled or established, these business houses do not want to expand or do not think of growing up. Why? Because they have this fear that they won't get such benefits if they go out of the ambit of the medium or small scale enterprises. So in order to keep availing the benefits, they keep their status to the MSMEs. So that is again a very big hindrance, that the tax structure which was introduced to incentivize or to encourage the entrepreneurship, in the long run it is in fact causing hindrance to the or hampering the growth of the economy, again acting as a structural bottleneck causing the structural inflation. Moving on to the last of the day, that is how the situation can be improved. The first thing is that we have to make our agriculture monsoon independent. That is, it should not depend on the monsoon anymore. Use of scientific techniques like remote sensing, using even more advanced satellites to predict the monsoon pattern, and improving the cold storage facilities, as well as connecting the or say every nook and corner of the country through proper roads. Then is bringing in new technology to reduce the cost of production. So we really need to spend on research and development in order to be masters, or at least bring if not masters, at least bring new technology to the country. Also, the farmers should be made more aware about the facilities that the government have launched for their benefit. For example, soil health card scheme, kisan credit card. Now all of this helps farmers to reduce their cost of production and to increase their productivity, which in turn would reduce the structural inflation in the long run. One very important point for all of you to note over here is that structural inflation is something that cannot be rectified in short run. It really needs time to correct such a situation, because infrastructure or any other facility, be it research and development, cannot happen overnight. It takes a lot of time to develop oneself in research and development, or to provide new infrastructure facilities. For an example, roads. So roads cannot be made overnight, or not even span of 2-3 months. So this kind of inflation varies from the other inflations, which can be regulated, or which can be at least managed with the change of monetary policy in the country. So friends, I hope this topic is clear to you as to what structural inflation is, and how it is caused, and how it can be improved or rectified. So friends, this is all for the today's video, and thank you so much for your patience listening.